Loud and Quiet presents Midnight Chats.
Hey everybody, welcome to episode 56 of Midnight Chats. It's been a little while for me on doing these. I mean, we've just launched this 7th series of the podcast, having taken about a month or two off to record these 10. We're going to do 10. This is number 2 of the 10. Last week we had Yanis from Foles on. Greg interviewed him. I thought it was extremely entertaining and very dry and very droll, and I enjoyed that in my interviews. This week it's my turn. My name is Stuart Stubbs. I am the editor of Loud and Quiet magazine, and I host half of these podcasts. Greg Cochran does the better half, and yeah, it's been 2 months or so since I've done one, so feeling a little bit rusty, certainly on the intro part. But yeah, the big news for me, and I know you're interested, is that in the interim, I have managed to fracture a vertebrae in my spine because I was hit by a motorbike whilst on my push bike. And although I am, of course, saying that purely for sympathy, it's also because it's mentioned in passing in this conversation, and but we don't talk about it. So there's a moment when my body is referred to. It's sounding sexy, isn't it? There's a point where my body is referred to as on the mend, and that is what Jason means. Jason, of course, is Jason Williamson from Sleaford Mods, who is tonight's guest, and we've tagged this as Sleaford Mods, and Jason is only half of that duo. Andrew Fern is the other member of the group, but Andrew doesn't really do much press. It is always Jason. Jason is the spokesperson, and that's the way they like it. Jason's a very good talker, as you're about to hear. I met him a couple of years ago when they were about to release English Tapas, and we recorded this episode when they were just about to release Eton Alive. Eton spelt as in the posh school Eton. It's out now. Go and check it out. It's a great record. I'm guessing you know Sleaford Mods. Maybe you've come to this podcast for the first time because it is a Sleaford Mods episode. If you don't know them though, please do hunt them down. They've got around almost 11 records out there. Some super early ones where Jason was doing it on his own, but the band really kind of clicked and took off when he teamed up with Andrew, who creates all of the beats, and Jason is the poet, shall we say, of the duo. I'm not going to try and describe the sound of Sleaford Mods because, no, I will. I'm going to. It's rudimentary beats and Jason shouting, a lot of the time swearing quite badly, about the state of our society. So this was recorded just before Eton Alive came out, and I think I don't keep up with things once they come out very well, but I think it's going well by all accounts. I think it's gone down very well. We gave it a very good review in Loud and Quiet. That review's on our website if you want to read it. It's a real deep dive. It's about 1,400 words into that record. I think it's a very well written review. So this is myself and Jason having a very informal conversation recorded a little earlier this year. I hope you enjoy it. Please do subscribe if you are coming to us for the first time. We've got another 8 of these in this series, and we've got some very good guests coming up. But for now, this is Jason Williamson from Sleaford Mods on Midnight Chats number 65. It would have been 2 years ago that we met.
It was,
in
yeah.
Nottingham.
About the same time, I would imagine.
Yeah, it was just before English Tapas.
Yes.
It was just about to come out. And we met in that kind of I'm guessing that was like the indie cinema of Nottingham, right?
It was, yeah.
The one that
it is.
It
still
is,
yeah.
Yeah.
It is. Yes, good cinema, Broadway.
Yeah. Are you much of a film guy?
Yes. Yeah, I love them. But I like trashy films, crap films.
Okay.
I'm not a big arty film person, but I do like a good arty film if it's put in front of me. I will watch it, and generally they are really good. But I seek out cheap entertainment mostly, or good horror. You know what I mean?
What constitutes a good crappy trash film for you?
Anything with lots of guns in, merciless violence. Normally a dysfunctional detective, that kind of thing. They're always good. Good fight scenes. Really bad villains, sadistic villains, and stuff like that.
Yeah,
really.
Films like Face Off.
Face Off, fantastic.
Face Off comes to mind because we had Baxter Jury on the podcast.
Oh, okay,
like last year.
Yeah.
I don't know how, but we ended up talking about Face Off quite a bit.
Okay.
And
is he a fan of it as well?
He is a fan. He was trying to get his son to watch it. He was like, "Sit down. This film's on TV. You're going to love this."
I can't believe that.
And his son, I think, is about 15.
Yeah.
And he was like, "This is the shittest film ever, Dad."
Yeah.
Because of course it is. If you're seeing it for the first time now, it's no good at all.
No, it's terrible. It's aged terribly, I think.
Yeah.
Because it was on TV the other week, and it's really aged badly. Nicolas Cage at times is a bit scary, but apart from that, it's pretty bad. John Travolta, really bad.
Have you seen any good trash recently?
Good trash. I watched the new version of what is it called? The Death Wish with Bruce Willis as Charles Bronson.
Okay.
Which is okay.
So Bruce Willis is playing Charles Bronson.
Yeah.
Okay. Have you seen the Tom Hardy one?
No. What's that called?
It's just called Bronson, I think.
Oh, that's brilliant.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's Tom Hardy, right? Was that Tom Hardy?
That's Tom Hardy,
Yeah.
but Bronson's the prison guy, isn't it?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm talking about the famous. You've not seen it, Death Wish with Charles Bronson in?
No.
Oh, you've not seen it?
No,
It's a 70s thing, early 80s.
Okay, right.
Where his wife gets murdered by some intruders.
Right.
He goes around, basically takes the law into his own hands.
Okay.
He goes out at night shooting villains.
And they've remade it with Bruce Willis.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it's not actually that bad, to be honest. I mean, Bruce Willis is playing his kind of die-hard character.
Yeah, in a blood-stained vest.
Yeah, when he shoots the bullet, that expression on his face, like that. It's like, oh, here we go. But Bronson with Thingy in is brilliant.
So 2 years ago, we met there, and kind of straight after that, English Tapas came out.
Yeah.
And then my memory from around that time is watching you on TV at Glastonbury when Lord Buckethead introduced you.
Yeah.
Which was quite an inspired thing to have him come out. And how did that come about? Was that your idea?
He asked us on the way down there. We got a text message from, I think it was from his manager.
So he's got a manager this day.
Got an email from his manager asking if he could come on, and we said yeah.
Okay.
We thought it was quite funny. We did think it was quite funny, and he turned up and he was like, "All right, lads, really, really thank you for letting me do this." And he went out there and just commanded the stage. I thought it was quite good. Yeah, it was quite funny. It really
I suppose we probably should explain to anyone listening, maybe from overseas. Lord Buckethead is a guy who ran against our Prime Minister, Theresa May, in a constituency to try and win her seat in the election 2 years ago. And he wears a bucket on his head. He dresses like a spaceman. He's kind of like a budget Darth Vader, isn't he?
Yeah, basically.
But he was very funny. And for a short time, around that time, he was quite a star, like an internet star here, wasn't he? And then he did that, and that was kind of a bit of a thing. That kind of, people were like talking about that a lot. In the music world especially.
It was the pictures of him that stood there with Theresa May and everyone. It was just the absolute absurdity of it.
Yeah, and he was dabbing. He dabbed. He got about, when they said his like vote count, which was whatever 60 people or something.
Yeah.
I remember he dabbed, and there was a great shot of Theresa May with him stood in the background. I think it was while she was giving her kind of winning acceptance speech, and behind her there was Lord Buckethead. There was a guy dressed as Elmo as well.
Yeah, there was. Yeah,
but no one gave him a look in because the guy with the bucket on his head became the star, I guess.
It was more funnier, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's during moments like that when I'm really proud to be British. The British sense of humour really, it really does something, doesn't it?
Well, it just made the idea of politics so absurd, and it just when I saw that and the way Theresa May was just stood there trying to be polite, and I just thought, this is it. It's just so absurd. This is our country. This is the system. You know, the system allows this. You know what I mean? It can't stop this.
Yeah.
You know.
How was that Glastonbury show? From what you remember, you were on the Park stage, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't enjoy it much. It was all right. I mean, there were more people there than last time we played, but last time we played was better, I think. I'm not sure if the performance was great.
Were you in the tent before?
Yes, and I was really nervous this time round. I don't know why, because we'd done tons of gigs running up to it, so I was, we were well oiled. But I just, halfway through the gig, I lost it. I didn't feel connected to it. I didn't think it was, and I started thinking that I'm not enjoying this, I think we carried it off. It was all right.
Yeah,
but,
it looked good on TV.
Yeah, I just didn't think, I just didn't enjoy the rest of it, to be honest. But saying that, we got a good response, and that's the name of the game, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. It was great. I think it was great to be watching that at home on TV.
Yeah.
Was just great in and of itself, I think. Just to see Sleaford mods on the BBC, being introduced by a man with a bucket on his head.
Yeah.
And then going on to do your thing was quite, those things when they happen on TV, you kind of feel like this little thing is infiltrating the wider world a bit more.
Yeah, definitely. It's a dream come true, really. People, everyone wants to play at Glastonbury, be on the TV with it, and to not only play there, but to play in front of a big crowd. It's a dream come true. But the reality of these things is, sometimes you just don't enjoy it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or it doesn't turn out to be the thing that you thought it would be.
Is Glastonbury good to do as a performer, as an artist?
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is, because it's essential, really. Because it's kind of the only festival. Well, it's not the only festival that films it, but if you do Glastonbury, then you're going to be on TV. You're on the BBC. So it's just as good as getting on Jules Holland, really. And everyone wants to try and get on Jules Holland because it's the only TV.
Have you done that?
Yes.
Yeah.
So, and they won't let us back on because they only let you go on once, really, unless, of course, you're a massive big name,
Yeah.
or hugely popular, or whatever. So yeah. There's only that, and then there's the Soccer AM. I think they.
Oh yeah, have you done that?
No, because we're not into football, and I don't know if you have to have some connection to football.
But I think you probably have to. Yeah, I think you probably do.
Yeah.
Did you see Richard Ashcroft on it last year?
Oh, it's pretty bad, wasn't it?
It was bad, but it wasn't as bad as him on BBC Breakfast.
Oh, that was really bad.
I was showing a friend of mine that at Christmas. He hadn't seen it, and he was a big fan of the Verve back in the day.
Yeah.
He had to ask me to stop showing him it.
Yeah. It was really
destroying
bad.
His childhood hero,
Yeah, it was really bad. I mean, because he was kind of laid down, wasn't he? And I'm a rock star and all this, and I don't know, I thought, well, if he wants to be like that, let him be like that. But I think overall, it wasn't good. It didn't look good. I don't know if it looked a bit desperate, didn't it?
Yeah.
And well, I don't know if desperate's the right word. It just looked crap. Do you know what I mean?
That's the best way to describe it. Yeah, I think that's right. When you go on like Jules, do they have any issue with your lyrical content, the language of your songs? Do they say?
Well, they sort of said, look, I said we said we want to do Job Seeker, and the single at the time, which was No One's Bothered, and there was no swearing in No One's Bothered, so that was fine. But Job Seeker had loads of it in. But we wanted to do Job Seeker, and they said yes, which surprised us. But we had to do it after the Watershed, the 9 o'clock thing. So we had to do it after that. Which we did, and it went down a storm. It's a real And he put it in his top 10 of all-time favourite bands on there, which I thought was quite something.
Maybe you will get invited back.
Don't know, it'd be nice.
You are probably one of the few bands that can go on that show and be safe that Jules won't do some boogie-woogie piano over your music.
No, I don't think he would. I mean...
I couldn't imagine that collaboration.
No. I mean, I'd probably think, I'm going to try this because it might be a challenge, but I don't know. I can't see that happening, to be honest.
Yeah. One thing I always think about those kind of big TV performances, whether it's Glastonbury or Jules or anything, is do you notice like the power of them? Like in the sense of once you did Glastonbury, do you notice how many people start, following your social channels or streaming your music or buying your records? Is there like a noticeable spike?
Yeah,
of the
there
power
is.
of TV
Yeah,
stuff?
I mean, but back then it was Twitter. Instagram was still in its early stages,
right?
But Twitter back then, you just noticed, and obviously on Facebook as well. But yeah, mainly Twitter. It kind of lit up, especially as it was in the top 5 of the most watch.
Right.
Or something. We were just below, is it Della Lama? It's just fantastic. And then it was us. So yeah, you do notice the difference, yeah.
Looking back, how did English Tapas go for you? It looked like it went very well.
It was good. It was the best album to date.
Yeah.
Sales-wise and reach. We really did well with it, you know. It was a popular album and... we were worried that it would get criticised. I mean, I thought it was strong, but it went down well with it critically as well, Oh, darn.
I remember you saying that, like, at the time, like, that you weren't sure how it was going to go because you were fully prepared to accept that key markets would be, well, that's the peak.
Yeah, it's interesting. Did I say that?
Yeah.
It's interesting.
Yeah. You're like, well... we've kind of done that now, so where is there to go,
Well, it turned out wrong, didn't
Yeah.
it? I mean, English Tapas became a commercial breakthrough almost, whereas I thought before Key Markets and Divide and Exit were breakthroughs, but perhaps breakthroughs in the sense of awareness, growing awareness. But I think English Tapas brought us into a whole new arena, you know what I mean?
And how then do you feel about the forthcoming record, Eaten Alive?
Again, I'd say the same thing. I'm going to say the same thing, that perhaps we've reached a peak, but I don't know.
You've been proved wrong before now.
I have, thank you. It's still growing, and I think, I don't know, I worry that because we've left Rough Trade in the infrastructure, that perhaps this album won't get seen by as many people. But, I think we got a campaign up to scratch, really, in the UK and to a certain degree in Europe, although Rough Trade were great with the local radio stations and stuff, and I'm not sure if we've managed to infiltrate those ends of the branches, But yeah, I'm hoping it will, maintain our position and, we're allowed to carry on doing it, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't want it to drop because I don't think it should. The record's really strong. It's still up there, you know what I mean? There's not a lot that can match it, in my opinion, still. So yeah, there's no reason why we can't hang around for a while longer,
Yeah, sure. So as you say, you've left Rough Trade.
Yes.
You've set up on your own.
Uh-huh. And
the label, it's got a great name, Extreme Eating.
Yeah.
Where did that come from?
Well, it's just a private joke for me and Andrew, We was on flying somewhere one day and just talking about, at night where you can't be bothered to fix something to eat and you're right, you just go to the fridge with a spoon and just get a spoon of Marmite or a spoon of tomato sauce. It was like, it's extreme, innit? I'm like, extreme eating, innit? And we were just laughing about that. So that's where that came from.
It's a great name.
Yeah, it is.
Have you got a logo, a label logo?
Yes, we have, and it's just a teaspoon with whatever condiment on top of it. You know what I mean?
Okay.
So yeah.
So with Extreme Eating, are you enjoying that? Are you enjoying we spoke about it a little bit before we started recording, but having a label, you and Andrew are just doing everything.
Yeah.
That's the thing.
Yeah, to a certain degree. We got this. We're working with Cargo Records.
Yeah.
And they're doing the distribution, and they've been brilliant. Alongside that, we unfortunately parted company with our manager. So at the minute, my wife Claire is overlooking that side of things. Obviously, we brought in all the PR and marketing and stuff through Claire, and so between all of those people, the campaign's going. You don't see. You forget how there's a reason why labels are so prominent on the landscape. It's because they have got that there.
Yeah.
The infrastructure, and they've got the connections and the know-how, and this is how you pedal up interesting albums. You know what I mean? We're not a buzz band anymore, so you have to a certain degree take your music to people.
Yeah.
People don't necessarily come to you anymore, you know what I mean?
But at the same time, I suppose Sleaford Mods have got this fan base that is, from the outside at least, looking in, it looks really dedicated and big, pretty big. Like, you play big shows, play like the Roundhouse. And there's something in that now, I think, with you guys, that you can imagine that they're going to buy your record, like regardless of who's releasing it. They're going to know. They're going to come and see your show. They follow your social channels and all that stuff. So I think it's going to work. I've got a good feeling.
Yeah, I think it will. I definitely did. I didn't a month ago, but I feel really confident about it. And it's been a learning curve for all of us, as and I know it sounds probably to people listening like, just a bit, shut up. But this is how it is, in professional bands. It's like when you get to a point, you work hard to get your band to a certain level. And, there's no reason why we shouldn't stay at that level. The music's not crap. We haven't turned into wankers. There is no reason why we shouldn't. So I'm not going to let that drop, you know what I mean? No way.
I had a question on Extreme Eating. Generally speaking, I say this as we're eating sweet potato fries, so it kind of answers my question. Are you a healthy eater?
Yeah, sort of. I mean, I still eat red meat, still eat chips, fried stuff, but I don't drink or take drugs anymore. So, and I exercise every day.
Yeah. You go to the gym, right?
Yeah, so...
I joined a gym last year.
Okay.
Despite this figure that you see sat beside you.
Well, it's one that's on the men, which is important.
That's true, yeah. I'm injured. But I'm struggling to get into gym. There's a really kind of bog standard gym next to our office. And it's really cheap. Yeah. It's like 19 quid a month. Yeah. And I joined maybe this time last year. And I was trying to get into it, but I think my problem is I don't know what the fuck I'm doing in there. No one's told me what any of the stuff does,
Right.
And I feel I might need some of that. I don't know how many times to do a rep. I don't know any of it.
I think what I got a personal trainer.
Okay.
And I know it's quite expensive, but when the band took off, I had a bit more money, so I was able to. It might be worth trying to do that. I think you're looking at probably 50 quid an hour, probably 40 quid an hour, something like that.
Yeah.
But what you learn is invaluable,
Yeah.
And I'll show you how to use things. 2 or 3, 4 sessions with one and you're away, I reckon. I had one for like a year, and then after that I just broke away and then did my own thing. Do you go to
the gym every day?
Most days, yeah.
Do you?
If it's not too much hassle.
Yeah.
If the kids are at home and they are sort of, if it's too much for Claire on her own sometimes. It would be too much for me on my own, So you don't tend to go on days like that, but generally, I try and go every day.
You kind of need to be as healthy as you can when you're not touring, because when you're touring, it's really easy to be unhealthy, I imagine.
Yeah. I'm proper sort of military on tour.
Are you?
Just gig, back to the hotel, gym the next day if there's one in town.
All right, so you stay in shape on the road.
I don't go mad because obviously the gig takes a lot out of you. But obviously, without drinking and not doing drugs anymore, that weight's off your shoulders, you know what I mean? You haven't got a hangover, you focus, you know what I mean? It's still very tiring. I mean, I'm nearly 50, you know what I mean? But then again, when I was 20, it would it takes it out of you, you know. But I find that if I stick to that, I'm fine. But I'm obviously conscious that you've got to communicate with people and see people.
Yeah.
But, you know, if you can balance it, you're all right.
I remember when we last met, someone came over whilst we were leaving or whilst we were going to do photos. Just some guy, he didn't know you, but he just wanted to say hi because he recognised you. And we were talking about, you know, people recognising you and spotting you more, especially back home. Because of your songs and what you're singing, do you find that people want to moan to you? The reason I say this, I was listening to a podcast with Stuart Lee the other day.
Oh, yeah.
And he was saying how a cabbie was like slagging off John Bishop to him. Presumably because, you know, Stuart Lee's got this whole thing about like he slags off all those comedians, including John Bishop. But so he thought it was totally fine to slag John Bishop off. And Stuart Lee got quite annoyed with this cabbie and was actually sticking up for
John Bishop
and being like, how dare you? Like, how dare you have a go? You don't know John Bishop. He's actually really good. But this guy had seen this persona on stage, you know, and thought, I know what I can talk to him about, which he will, you know, we can start up a conversation. I hate John Bishop. I know he does. So we're bond over this. Do you have a similar thing?
Yeah, back in the day, before I gave up booze and everything, people would, you know,
shitting it.
Went out, was out for 3 days, mate. Proper, you know. Now it's like you don't get that much. You get the old work thing sometimes where like, fucking job shit, mate. Yeah, I'm had enough. I'm gonna stick it to the boss, you know. It's like, all right.
You say, okay, cool.
Yeah.
Good for you, mate.
But not too much.
Okay,
no,
they don't tend to.
No,
people don't have this kind of misconceived idea of the person you are through your music.
Sometimes, not too much though, because I don't think I do anyway. I don't bring over any kind of, you know, character, I suppose, in interviews. So I think people just think, yeah, he's just normal. You know?
Yeah, because there are some people, like I imagine, like Liam Gallagher,
who get it all the time.
Yeah, you know, like people see Liam Gallagher, and if they're a fan, they think I'm going to go and talk to Liam Gallagher about the Beatles. Yeah, or what, you know, or the cliche things that you think he would like. And
you don't really know him, do you, Liam Gallagher? He's still a bit of an enigma, isn't he?
Have you ever met him?
No. But yeah, I can imagine people going, all right, mate, and acting all laddie and stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, he obviously is like that, isn't he? But
yeah, if not, it's a very method performance.
Oh, God, yeah. He'd get undrawn and quartered, wouldn't he? Oh, hello.
It turned out he hated all of that.
Yeah. But no, not too many. You know, if anything, people are quite respectful and love your music, mate, and say hello to Andrew for me. And, you know, I think people feel a closeness to it, the ones that like it anyway, you know.
Yeah.
And that definitely comes through when people meet you.
Do you still get much shit on Twitter?
Oh, God, yeah.
That's where everyone is.
Yes, still.
Sticking the boot in.
Instagram's bad for it as well, but not as bad as Twitter.
Instagram's kind of a much friendlier kind of social platform, isn't it?
You still get them leaving snide comments on the photos.
Do you? Right, okay. The Twitter thing's funny, isn't it? Like, I wonder where that's going. I wonder if like people if the sane world will just desert Twitter eventually, and it'll just be.
I think, of course, it will.
Left for
I think it's lasted longer than MySpace, hasn't it? But I think, you know, Instagram's now is considered to be the thing. You know, if you're promoting yourself, then Instagram's the one, really. But you know, what I find on Twitter is middle-aged people that are not willing to let go of Twitter. You know, and they form all kinds of, you know, you can't get a group thing on Twitter like you can on WhatsApp, but you'll find that various people will have the usual people commenting on stuff that they post, and there'll be the usual people that come in on discussions, you know, and the usual people that support them in whatever views they've got. Yeah. They'll all collectively attack somebody they don't like, you know.
So do you recognise certain people, you're like, oh, it's this person again. He's got a problem with X, Y, and Z.
No.
You don't have known trolls, I guess they would be, wouldn't they?
Yeah, the known trolls, there's probably one or two, but they come back every 4 or 5 months. If they're really bad, I just block them because I can't be arsed with it, you know. But you'll get occasionally, I don't reply to them anymore, try not to anyway, but the ones you don't reply to will come back occasionally and just keep trying the wares, you know what I mean?
Right. Because for them, they want the response,
they want
right?
that rise, you know, because that's all they've got, you know what I mean? And, oh God, yeah. Some terrible ones, where you're just like, you need to seriously think about yourself here, mate.
Yeah.
I mean, I used to troll people back in the day before Sleaford got big. And Twitter was great for it. It's like, I can directly insult you. I don't like you. I don't like your music. But, you know, some of them are like dark. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like dark thoughts, beliefs. Obviously, the whole Brexit thing, political situation, the divide between the Leave and the Remainer, and what that has brought on, you know, particularly with a lot of Leave voters who, and you know, I don't mean to generalise here, and I'm sorry if anyone's listening that did vote Leave that is reasonably, you know, well adjusted, but most of them are just fucking idiots. They come on, they're like, mate, what you doing? Beliefs are just all over the place. So it's a haven for it. It's a cesspit for it. You know?
Are you pretty thick-skinned, generally speaking?
No. I've tried to get a thick skin. I remember trolling the guy out of Franz Ferdinand, the singer.
Right.
And
when was this? Like a long time ago?
This was just as we were coming up.
Okay.
Divide and Exit had been released, actually. And I remember trolling the guy at work. He'd written something, and I went, it was about, you know, a song or something. I went, what would you know about music or something? And he just totally cut me down. He came straight back at me. he goes, I actually like your music. He goes, what are you, you know, he basically just cut me down. He said, look, you need to get a thicker skin if you're going to do this, because this is going to get worse for you. You know, your music's really good. I was like, oh, cheers.
How are you with reviews then?
Yeah, I do worry about them. I know that the album's really strong, so that'll be fine. The creativity part of it's intact. But that doesn't matter in this game, does it? Because somebody might just have a slant on it, just take a slant on it because they don't like the band, they don't like me. I mean, I've had some in the past where people have blatantly rubbished something that, you know, it's not worth, it doesn't deserve rubbishing. And I suspect to try and push themselves along, you know. But yeah, you do worry about bad reviews because they do speak volumes to the onlooker as well, because people are fickle, you know what I mean? People will digest something. So yeah, but you know, what can you do?
Yeah, it's kind of out of your control, isn't it? In terms of like the thing of people coming up to you and talking to you in the street and saying hi and whatnot, and also the kind of crap that people might give you online. Is that on the new album? There's the track When You Come Up to Me.
Yeah,
which is about that, right?
No, it's about solitary. It's about, how do I put this? It's about how I perceive existence in the country at the minute to be even more intensely separated from each other. You know, people seem to be, there's quite a lot of distance between people, even between people that are supposedly close, you know. I've started to notice this. And it kind of talks about that kind of thing, how the effects of these policies from the Conservatives have slowly, you know, degenerated the contact between people, because people are, you know, quite busy worrying about themselves, worrying about what's going to happen post-March, and just the pressures that are on top of people, not only in a professional sense, but also in an unskilled sense, because there's just nothing about, you know.
Yeah.
So it caught me. It struck me that this was quite a prevalent thing, and also, you know, people coming into your personal space that you. I'm trying to hope I'm making sense here. That you know and will accept into your personal space, but most of the time you don't want anyone near you. You know, it talks about this feeling of, you know, a forced isolation almost as well. You know,
Right.
If that makes sense.
And you're properly singing on that track as well.
Yeah.
And in Firewall as well. You sing on Firewall as well.
Yeah.
It's good.
Yeah,
you can
thank you. I used to sing before, but obviously Sleaford took off, and I was obsessed with the ranting thing and blah blah blah. But I started listening to more 80s soul, Luther Vandross and Sherelle, Shaka Khan, and just getting into, not purposely wanting to sing, but when Andrew would send certain songs over, it was just, this is really melodic, you know.
Yeah.
So I wanted to try and do something like that. And also, fuck it, why not? You know, I thought it was quite good to try and merge some 80s soul.
Yeah.
Although it doesn't sound like that, I don't think, on the album. I mean, that's the way I try to approach it. Try to merge that with what we do, you know.
What was the plan for Eaten Alive? Did you have like a kind of goal for it? How did you approach making it?
Wasn't a goal, really. Just we started recording again in January last year, and that resulted in the EP that we did on Rough Trade, Sleaford Mods EP.
Yeah.
And then from that, Andrew, after about 2 or 3 months, sent me through, started sending me more stuff, and that stuff made up the album. But what we did with both the EP and this album is I'd get him to send me stuff through, and I would work on it at home. And I would wait until I had a really firm idea for it, instead of just getting, say, a short melody for this or that, and then going in the studio and improvising the rest. I'd really work on them, you know. And I suppose that's where the singing came in a lot, because I just felt like I had time to experiment and, you know, time to think about the songs. Didn't necessarily consciously want to push it forwards. It just happened sort of naturally. But obviously at the same time, I was aware that I don't want to repeat myself, you know what I mean? Vocally anyway. And Andrew's music was it was getting more confident, it was stronger. This compared to English Tapas, I think the music in this is a lot tougher.
Yeah,
it's got more dimensions.
It feels like it's really progressed. Like the beats are, there's a lot more going on in some of them on like Bab Spider and Subtraction. Like Subtraction's got like extra elements that weren't there before.
Yeah.
It has got a different feel. Like the whole record, I think, it's got a different feel.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's really great. How is Andrew doing? Is he still living on a narrowboat?
No, he left the narrowboat, sold up, and he was in a relationship. Relationship finished, and he took time out to, just to take stock, I think.
Yeah.
And he moved back to his parents' house in Saxelby in Lincoln. So I think that partly helped the change in the texture of the music, you know what I mean, in the in what he did, because it just seemed to be a lot more alert, the music, when he sent it through. It was like, whoa, and so it made me want to do different things to it. Do you know what I mean?
And what's your plan going into like your shows? Because what I've always liked is the Sleaford Mods kind of experiment of seeing how far you can push the setup that you've got.
Yeah.
And not wanting to like fuck with that and
No.
so if it's two of us. I remember you saying before that you've not even wanted to have a backdrop behind you. Once you got to a level where people were like, do you want to have your name written in big letters? You're like, no, don't want that.
It takes away from it, because we had it at a festival in Leeds, and I just thought it made us, merged us into everything else. And I'm not saying that, we're just, you are just, you lowly creatures and our majestic band. I'm not saying that, but I just don't like it. I don't think you need it. Some bands need it. And it works for other bands, you know what I mean? But I don't think it works for us. I just think it looks a little bit... Everyone's at it with a backdrop. Everyone's at the kind of black backdrop with the white letters as well. And it just didn't want it. I don't think we need it, you know.
What about some pyrotechnics? Glitter cannon.
Well, we are thinking about... Funny you should say, we're thinking about getting a lighting thing going, perhaps.
Okay, right.
It was.
But I know what you mean, though. I like the fact that that when you play the roundhouse, for example, you're still playing it as if you were playing upstairs in a pub.
Yeah,
that there's something to that. There's something to
kind
that.
of forces you to look at what's actually going on, as opposed to what is alluding to going on.
Yeah.
And I think that's why we like it. And it suits the music, I think, to have it like that. But yeah, we are perhaps thinking about a lighting idea, which could work. You know what I mean? I'm up for ideas as this goes on, because you never know. Stuff that you would no, I'm not into that. You know, could work. But as regards getting anybody else in with us, no. Getting another producer, no. You know, a backdrop, no. But, you know, little things like lighting and that, could work. You know what I mean?
Another thing that's happened since English Tapas came out was you've played Wembley Stadium.
Yeah.
With
Stone
Roses. You know, along those lines of how does your show, quote unquote, translate on a bigger stage? I mean, Wembley Stadium is as big a stage as there's ever going to be, ever, for anyone. How was it? How was that experience of going and playing Wembley?
It was brilliant. And we thought we had it nailed until we walked on the stage. And it was just... I mean, Wembley Stadium. Wow, yeah. It was a massive stage. And I think there was about 7,000 people watching us. It was quite something. I was nervous. Really was nervous. But it worked. We went down okay, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I was really quite proud of that. And obviously supporting one of the best English bands ever, in my opinion, anyway, you know. Just brilliant. And it was the original lineup as well, and it's just fantastic.
On your tour that's coming up, you're playing my hometown.
Go on.
Southend-on-Sea.
Oh, really?
Chinnery. Have you been before?
Don't know. I don't think I have.
You're in for an absolute treat.
Really? It's going to be good, isn't it?
It's you're doing some really interesting like towns like down there. I like when bands I follow like put out their tour dates. I like to see the regional dates. Yeah. And like, because they're always the better ones to go to if you can, you know, be in London, you know, you get a bit spoiled.
Well, we thought that because we don't really sell places out. Once you get past 1,300, it's a slow escalation in ticket sales for us, you know what I mean? With places like London, you know, 2,000, 3,000 we could get away with if we just did one gig.
Right.
You know? But generally, what we found on these tours was anything 2,000, we were struggling to sell out. So we just sort of sod this. Let's just go back and play what we did 3 or 4 years ago. And, you know, take it around the country and go back to some of these smaller places again, you know, because it'll be a laugh. And we thought it would be something that we could tie in with the departure from the EU in the sense of just seeing how it was, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Because your tour, you'll be mid-tour, won't you, when it happens? When it happens? Yeah. On the 29th?
Yeah.
What is do you know what your date is on the 29th?
I don't know.
Where you'll be?
No.
I think Southend might have voted leave.
I think a lot of places did.
I think it was maybe 50-40 leave.
Well, at least smaller
60-40 even. I think. But I think you'll have a good show there. It's quite a good... It's a venue on the seafront.
Yeah.
And it's a good size and stuff. Yeah.
I mean, I'm not expecting any grief at all. And I don't think for 1 minute the country's going to just explode. You know what I mean? It's just not. We're just going to get on with it like we get on with anything and just moan about it.
Yeah.
When you go out into a smaller thing, because we're quite perceived as quite a big band now, I think it'd be quite special to go out to smaller places and people will think will really appreciate it. They appreciated it before 3 years ago, you know. So that's a buzz, and we're going to go around all record shops doing sign-ins and meet and greets, you know what I mean?
Nice.
instead of the old usual play loads of rough trade in stores to try and, make sure everybody buys an album to get in. So it ups the chart placement, which is good. I really would like a top 10 this time, but I can't see it happening, to be honest, because we haven't done that much of that kind of thing for it,
Yeah.
But yeah, it should be good, And I like gigging, because it just moves the performance on. And the amount of shows that we've got, by the end of that tour, the performance would have moved on a bit. We will be well oiled for the festival season, and I love all that, going on there and bang, 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 it's great. You know what I mean?
I know you listen to a lot of new music.
Yeah.
A lot of the time. Have you heard anything recently that's worth mentioning, tipping me about?
Viagra Boys. I think that, a lot of people are starting to become aware of them, but not normally my thing, because guitar stuff I'm not, but it works, They really have got something. They look like they mean it.
They do, don't they?
They look like they live it,
Yeah.
And I'm not just talking about the booze or the drugs. They just look like it's them, because a lot of bands today, especially in this country, without mentioning names, just do not look like they're attached to what they're trying to do, And it's, it's not disheartening, but it just puts me off checking out, white bands with guitars, you know what I mean?
Yeah, of course, yeah.
But apart from that, drill, really. And what else? My obsession with 80s soul. I go back in. I come out of drill and go back into it because it's so intense and dark. You can only have small periods on it.
Yeah.
But those small periods are really, you really do get a lot from it. They're real beneficial. Aside from that, what else? Been listening to Drake a lot.
I went to see Drake at the O2. It was hilarious.
Was it?
It was so good and entertaining.
Yeah.
But so naff.
Oh, was it?
Yeah, but it was when he released The Views. It was the last time he was there.
Sure.
And it was like seeing a red coat. Like he was like the way he was whipping the crowd up, because also everyone was there. Like everyone was in awe of him.
Yeah,
men and women, everyone.
Yeah. And
they would cheer at anything, And he came out with a Union Jack draped round him, and considering
it's halfway through.
Considering that record is so clearly about Toronto, like on the sleeve he sat on top of the Space Needle or whatever. He comes out, he's like, "Hey London, when I wrote this album, I was thinking of all you guys," and everyone's like, "Yeah." no one dare go, no, you weren't. Daft. No, you weren't. Yeah. Mate. You definitely weren't. You definitely weren't thinking about us. But people were just so, and he was an absolute master at pacing it. Like, I know that sounds a really nerdy, wanky thing to say, but he basically had this. It was just him and the DJ.
Really?
Yeah. And he had some guests came out, Gigs came out and Section Boys came out and stuff. But he would play, a lot of his tracks. He would play 20 seconds, like a sample, and then he'd just scrap it. Move on to the next thing. Some of that's really frustrating because there was some of the tunes, some of the big tunes, you'd be like, I want to hear this song,
and he just cut it.
Seriously, he hardly played any song all the way through.
You're joking? What's all that about?
Yeah, it was just about. It was this kind of weird, but the pace of it was so quick because you couldn't really keep up, and he was really good at knowing when a song was dying, when it wasn't going very well. And he'd start having this mock argument with his DJ. And his DJ was kind of like his stooge.
That's just fantastic.
And he's going, "What are you doing? You can't be playing this. We're in London right now." And everyone would scream because he just said London. And it's great. It's it was really entertaining.
I mean, the people have said that he's a bit, when we played in Canada, they were like, "Drake is fake. He's this, he's not a gangster," and blah, blah, blah. But you kind of know that, but you forgive him because he's so good at what he does.
Yeah.
Some of his songs are brilliant. I'm sure it's not in rights though, is it? Does he?
I don't know.
Because he delivers them so perfectly.
Yeah.
It's like even if you didn't write them, so what?
Yeah.
You deliver them so spot on.
Midnight Chats is a loud and quiet podcast. Production by Emma Snook. Music courtesy of Gold Panda. Search Midnight Chats on iTunes for more episodes and to subscribe. For more information, visit loudandquiet.com.